Hello and welcome to Act Bold. Today on the podcast, I have Sophie. You see, have to cut.
Ja, do you know the German proverb, ein guter Gastgeber macht den ersten Schleck?
There we go. There we go. I did it all for you. The things we do, right? Okay. Hello and welcome to Act Bold. Today on the podcast, we have Theresa Sophie Albert. She is an actress, she is a coach, and she's also a friend of mine. Theresa, welcome to the podcast. I'm so happy to have you on today.
I'm so happy to. Thank you, Anne.
So the reason I asked you on was because I ran across, I didn't even know you were doing it. Of course, I know that you were coaching, but I didn't know that you had something called Wild Sample. So explain this. I love this. I love the concept, but explain it for the listeners and the watchers.
Yeah, thank you so much. I love to talk about it because I love the idea speaking generally of doing something by your own. Because we as actors, we are artists, and it's so good to feel free to do whatever you want. And that's kind of the concept of Wild Sample. It's a coaching platform for actors who want to create a sample of their work instead of doing a fancy show reel scene with fancy technique stuff and so on, and to come back to the core competence of us actors to create a unique character that really sticks to the mind. Because in all these self tapes and video stuffs, casting directors are working all day, all the time. It's so difficult to stand out and to be
Yeah.
unique. So I
Yeah.
love thinking about branding, about being unique, about working with your lust
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
enjoying your art.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, basically what it's doing is because when we upload our clips to these casting portals, it's not like we're uploading a 5-minute scene or even a 3-minute scene. It's too long. I make sure that whatever I upload is less than 60 seconds.
Yeah.
So basically, that's what you're doing. You're just cutting to the good stuff right away. So
Yeah.
nobody has to cut anything away.
Yeah. Yeah. So the thing is, the samples I'm shooting, they're around about 2 or 3 minutes, and you need the flash
Yeah.
to cut it down to, let's say, 60 seconds or
Yeah.
90 seconds. That's absolutely enough. Because remember, when you're watching your favorite series or your beloved movie, there are only seconds and you fall in love with the character or not. So
Yeah.
focusing on the character is something that helps you to come right to the point without any.
Without any fluff.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
let's talk about that for a minute. So what kind of things do you do to prepare someone to get into character
Mm.
for their scene?
Yeah. So there are 3 steps you can. So the first thing, the actor has to answer 6 questions. I call it
Oh,
the wild 6.
get your pencils out, folks.
Yeah, it's there are lovely questions, and they all come to the point. What do you want to play? What do you really want? Because I'm not so a fan of thinking only in strategy. It's a huge part is thinking about a strategy, a branding strategy. But the first question always has to be, what do you want?
Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Absolutely. You must do that. We have
Yeah.
to. It's our job to educate. It is part of our job to
Yeah.
educate people how to cast us. But I don't want to interrupt you. Get on to the other 5 questions.
Okay.
And then we'll
So-
go back to that.
Yeah. This is a great conversation. I can see that. 2 actors are having fun. So it's all about what do I want, and then I will see, okay, what series, what character, what movie do you like? And the core question is, do you like it as a consumer or as an artist?
Oh,
Do
I
you
love
want
that
to
question.
watch it or do you
Yeah.
want to play it? And that's the whole different question, because
Yeah.
I love watching so many things, but if I'm asking myself, would I want to play it? Very honestly, and I got 40, so now everything has changed. I'm not saying, I want to play everything. No, I don't. I want to play some specific characters I really like.
Yeah.
So surprisingly, it's not I want to play anything. And most of the actors who answer this question honestly find out, no, I don't want to play this character or this character. I just like to watch it. So
Mm.
separating these two questions is kind of a game changer.
Mhm.
And when they find out what they really want to play, we are looking at, okay, what are you asked for? Which characters or types um, do you get castings? And then the next question is,
But that's a dangerous one in Germany because people are getting cast off their show reels.
yes,
So
yes,
they're not. I mean, if you just happen to have played a cop once, you are almost like doomed
mm.
to keep playing cops until you show people that you can play something else.
Well, but it's the same in America, right? You know that better than me. But from everything I heard,
No, we're always cast from auditions in America for
yeah,
American
but
productions.
having a brand comes to what I heard
Yes, you
about
can have a brand, but I think well, we're going to talk about this later. So I
yeah.
definitely want to come back to brand.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
Yeah.
let's keep in mind to talk about um what's the name of the actor from Breaking Bad?
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Oh God,
the the um
which one?
the my goodness, the big
Not the
one, the
dealer.
cop. No, the cop,
Oh yes,
Dean
yes,
Norris.
that's true.
Dean Norris,
Yeah, and he
Hank
has made a
Schrader.
career of playing cops. That's true.
Yes.
He has. Yes,
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
yeah.
You know what? He's probably happy with that. He does look like your
Mm,
stereotypical American cop for
mm,
sure.
mm.
So okay, and if he had wanted to break out of that, he probably could have. But the thing that he's always going to play, because this is his essence, are blue collar people.
Yeah,
He's never going to be an aristocrat. He's never going to play that. That's not his essence. His essence is
yes,
rough and
yeah,
tough and
yeah.
direct and
Grumpy.
gritty. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess you could be a grumpy aristocrat, but it's not. He doesn't have that refinement that
Yeah,
someone else has.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
not so compelling for him. So my interest is always on looking what in not there has been a time in Germany where everyone did something like a Typisierung. Do you remember?
Yes, I
Yeah.
do.
So the
And
question
I think,
would
but
I
you know what? They do those in America too.
yeah.
Even with like SAG-AFTRA does them.
Well,
They
okay.
sponsor them.
Yeah.
And I think they're ridiculous. Maybe we should explain what they are for some
Yeah,
people who don't know what it is.
absolutely. It's kind of one person is sitting in the in the middle of the room and you're just improvising or brainstorming if this actor would play a character in a math series, would he be the patient or doctor? Would he be the nurse or the neuroscientist or
Right.
something like this?
The
So you,
cleaner,
yeah, the
the
cleaner,
taxi driver that took him there. I mean, they were
the
just so
grumpy nurse.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Well, it's fun, to be honest. It's super fun, but it's more, in my opinion, for a party than for
Yes,
doing seriously it
I
for
agree.
your career. So, so my question for the actors is not this typisierung. I don't know what the English word for this
Typecasting party, I guess.
typecasting.
Or
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. The question is rather, what's your archetype? Because an archetype can be one thing and can also be the reverse, and it can be in every genre. If you are playing the queen, and I guess probably have the archetype of a queen, because this is something that immediately comes to my mind when I see you
Well,
in
thank
real
you.
life. Yeah, of course. I was getting $20 for it, but
See you later.
no, but this is something that is around you, like an atmosphere or something that seems to be easy for you. And if you would play the queen, you could do it every genre. You could do it in a thriller, in sci-fi, in crime, drama, comedy, in every genre. And you also can do it in reverse. You can also be the broken queen or something like
Yes,
this.
yes.
And that's a real fun for me to find an archetype I want to play, but also it has to be a match with the industry. Otherwise, it's like, I want to play anything. This is not a strategy, but it has to
Yeah.
be this triangle of this is what I want. This is what the industry sees also in me or see
Yes.
in me. I teach them.
Yes.
And for example, your agent or your rep who is invited to talk in this round. What shall we do? What shall we create? How do we want to teach the industry to cast and or Theresa
Yes.
or whoever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's interesting because you call it an archetype, and I love that, and I'd actually love to talk more about that. I don't know a ton about archetypes other than, what comes up in acting school years and years ago and those kind of things. I call it your essence. So
Yeah.
it's like what is the essence that you're projecting? And
Yeah.
it's you have the imagery of the triangles, and I use circles. So here's the circle of how the industry sees you. This is the circle of how you see yourself. And this place where they intersect,
Yeah.
those are your perfect roles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm adding, what do you really
Yes.
what
Well, of
is
course, that's, that the circle or the triangle, however you want to put it,
mm,
of how you want to be seen.
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But, it doesn't matter. For instance, oh God, no, I forgot his name. Dean what?
Dean Norris.
Dean Norris. So
Yeah.
if Dean Norris wanted to play, I don't know. I mean, who's to say he couldn't play a
Mm,
neuroscientist? He certainly could.
yeah.
But he would have had a different background, right? He would have been someone
Absolutely.
that came from the streets,
Yeah.
that had to work, nights
Yeah.
as a janitor to pay his college bills,
Yeah.
right? You can already see this whole backstory.
Well,
Whereas
let's think of Saul Goodman. Bob
Saul Goodman,
Odenkirk, he played
oh,
Saul,
yes,
the attorney,
yes,
and
yes,
he
yes,
yeah. So this is the same. He's also an attorney, but with a background of Slippy James. He was
yeah,
always the trickster.
yeah,
And you know what, Aaron? I'm living in Neukölln, you know that.
yeah.
And there's the
Berlin, for
hamburger.
those of you who don't know
Oh
that.
yes. Oh yeah, there's an audience. I forgot. So there's the huge Hermannplatz, and it's very uh, 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 crowded, and there's super many people. And there's a Karstadt supermarket, and down in the cellar there's kind of food and whatever you need to have a look. And there's I don't know if she's the shop manager or is she just sitting an der Kasse, weißt du, mit diesem Laut.
And the cashier at the
Yeah,
at the register. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, at the register.
Yeah.
And you would never, never in your life would have cast him as a cashier. You wouldn't. You have to imagine he's, I think, about 62. He has a red face. Maybe he drank too much, or he's just a son.
Florid.
Yeah, I don't know.
Florid.
Yeah, or eating
Yeah.
too many
Yeah.
chilies or peppers or
Yeah.
whatsoever. He's red
Right.
face, and he has blonde hair. It's dyed in a yellow tone, and he
Yeah.
has
So he
something.
does it at home.
No,
Trying to cover his gray.
it's super, and he has this little cat with the hair here, like a pony. In Germany,
Oh,
we say
yes, I know
pony.
what you
Yeah,
bangs.
and
He's
then
got
he
little
has
bangs, yeah.
yeah, and then he has a
A
ponytail.
ponytail, yeah.
Yeah, and he wrapped it around an iron, so it's really like
Oh,
this.
it's like a pig's tail, like a ringlet.
Yes,
Oh,
and
God.
then
He
and then
spends a
he
lot
has
of time on that.
yes, and then he has always a white shirt. And when you come to his register, he always says, "So, good day. How are you?"
Okay. Yeah.
And it's amazing because there are so many people who want to buy something quickly, and he ignores it completely. And he's so elegant and so owns this place.
Yeah.
And you have to be grateful to come to him. But you wouldn't. I didn't use my main example talking about how could we cast people because you would never think of him as a cashier. But he is.
But you never forget him either as a
No,
cashier.
and that's the point.
Yes. Yes.
So how
Yeah.
can we use you call it essence, I call it archetype. How can you combine it to a mixture that is so well
Unforgettable.
unforgettable?
Yeah.
And if you love it, everybody will see it.
Yeah.
So
Yes. So when you're having fun, right? I mean,
yeah,
that's the auditions where I've just was like, whatever, I'm just going to have fun.
yeah,
And I just, got into it and just had a really good time. I
yeah,
almost without fail, always get those roles.
yeah, yeah. And if not, I guess
I'm
it
sure
doesn't
I made a
matter.
good impression. Yeah.
Yes,
And you're
yes,
right. And you know what? It doesn't matter because I have
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
And that's, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, okay, so you move on because I try and move on anyway. I don't want to dwell
Yeah.
on, do an audition, wipe it out of my mind.
Exactly. And it's not to make this clear. It's not only about having fun. This is we're running a business. So it's
Mm.
not only about fun, but if you don't have the fun, you will not stick to this job for years because it's too rough.
Yes, but absolutely. I 100% agree with that. But I also think that it's the fun in an audition at any rate
Yeah.
that sells the performance.
Yeah.
When people can see that you are free, you're experimenting while you're playing, and those are the you, it's not like you have to have every move. I don't think you don't have to have every move, every intonation planned out. You need to know who this person is, but then go with it. Because
Yeah.
I didn't know I was just going to snap. And I know,
Yeah.
I've known me for 56 years. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, you just have to, yeah, know it and then let it go.
Yeah. And this brings me to my most favorite hate sentence. It's my character wouldn't do that.
Yeah. How do you know? How do you
Exactly.
know? How do
How
you know
did you
what
know?
you're going to
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
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 And it's
I'm always
so
astounded at that as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's such a
Yeah.
limitation. I hate
Yeah.
when actors use this sentence, but I also hate it when directors use this sentence. It's a bullshit sentence,
Yeah.
100%. Your
Yeah.
character wouldn't do it. Really? If
Yeah.
I would do right now here handstand, well, I would do it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that. And I mean, if somebody does something that's out of character, but that's even why we have that phrase to
Mm,
go out of character. And we have it for everyday people as well,
yeah.
right? If you have your sweet mom who's always great with the kids and one day she just loses her temper
Mm,
and smacks her child, that's out of character.
yeah.
But she still did it. It
Yeah.
was still her.
Yeah.
What is happening in her life that caused her to
Mm,
break what she normally would, to have the control that she normally would?
yeah.
That's the question. If
Yeah.
somebody does something that's out of character, what has driven them to do something that's out
Yeah.
of character?
And that's also something I really, really like coaching actors for a shooting when it comes to sentences. And quite often, actors tell me, well, I can't say this sentence. It's so
Mm.
ridiculous. How can I say something so stupid? And that's always the moment I fall in love with my work because I
Do
never
you
change sentences. I
okay.
always find a
I have to
character
admit I do
solution.
it.
Well, since I
Yeah,
know that so
yeah.
often the directors are also the writers,
Writers, that's
it's
true. Yeah.
it's a risk. So if you don't know them, I don't want to bring the actors in a situation where a furious director says, "No, you have to say no. I wrote
Yeah,
it." And so
yeah,
I
yeah,
understand that. I
yeah,
really understand it because I'm also a filmmaker, and so that's okay. But when you fall in love, shittiest sentences on earth, you got the character, and this is for me. This is kind of a rabbit hole directly to something you wouldn't have expected because it's so stupid.
yeah. Do you know what, though? You're in very good company because Meryl Streep has a very similar philosophy on that. She always says there's always one sentence in every script, and it's the sentence that you find yourself stumbling on every time. Oh, 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 it's hard to say. It feels unnatural. And if you can mm, find the key
Yeah.
to that sentence, then you find the key to the character.
Wow. Okay, Meryl, I love you even.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have to admit, yeah, I do it, but it's more, yeah. Okay, it's a lot of times when things have been badly working in Germany, right? So
Mhm.
things have not been translated very well,
Mhm.
or so I'm just like, well, I know what they mean to say. So I'm
Yeah.
just going to say it the way I would say it because it
Yeah.
would be weird if I said it the way they wrote it.
Yeah. Yeah. But this is another situation, right?
Yeah, true. But
Um,
even though I've had people, oh no, yeah, and I said, well, actually, it's not correct. I mean, if you want me to say it like that, I'll say it. But
mm, mm,
then there's got to be a reason why I'm sounding like I do and not speaking with the
Yeah.
grammar of a native speaker then.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely.
why? It
Yeah.
has to make sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
And also, you know that there are actors who always translate their lines into something how they would do it to write it like so it's in Germany we say mundgerecht machen.
so that
And
it's in bite-sized pieces, I guess.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I always have that because for me, acting is living or thinking with another one's brain. That's acting
Mm,
for me. And if
mm.
I cut this down to I translate it how I would do it, I always play myself. And
Yeah.
then you come to a point, and this is the next hate sentence for me. Well, this is authentic. But what the hell is authentic or authenticity? It's only, in my opinion, only animals have authenticity. Authenticity.
Authenticity.
Yeah,
You know what I think authentic is? I think it's authentic if I believe you. Then it's
yeah,
authentic.
yeah. But you believe more than you would imagine.
Absolutely. And also we can allow ourselves into a highly stylized world.
Mhm.
And that can also become real.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of do you
Wes
remember
Anderson.
Dogma? Okay,
Yeah,
Wes Anderson,
yeah,
Dogma, Lars von
yeah,
Trier.
yeah.
So these are like highly stylized
Mm,
worlds.
mm,
Or how even Shakespeare, right? I mean,
mm.
it's not the way we speak today.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
language evolves. And but that was the normal way to speak back then. It wasn't anything. I mean, he obviously, I'm sure he had a way with words even back then. Otherwise, he wouldn't be who he is
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
But it wasn't so strange and stylized that we didn't understand what he was saying,
Mhm,
right? So
mm,
so we accept it. You just have there's like sort of like a getting used to it period. Even like when you work with color graders, and you know this because you're a filmmaker, right? So you can color everything to have an orange tint or a yellow tint. And maybe the first 2-3 seconds it's weird. You're like, oh, everything's yellow. But then
mm,
you all of a sudden you're in it. It's like putting on polarized glasses. You just get used to it
yeah,
almost immediately.
yeah,
So we're willing to accept all
yeah,
these
yeah,
things. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and that's a great sentence to keep in mind that the audience is willing to accept. That maybe gives actors the courage to, yeah, to make bold choices.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm,
So
mm.
that was what, 3 questions? What are the other
I
3?
honestly forgot it. So we're
So then
circling
we
around the question, what do you want to play?
yeah.
How the industry is seeing you? And then another question is, what is important for you?
Can we do something?
Yeah, of course.
Say that I'm coming to you to do a wild sample.
Yeah.
Would you should we just, like, go through it like what you would ask me? And
Yeah, of course. I would
okay.
love to. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if I have the questions in a row, but
That's
it
okay.
doesn't matter.
No.
So if you would do a sample with me, I would send you the questions and doing it like this. It would be the first question. And what's your favorite actor or actress and why?
Okay. Yeah, that's a tough one. I have more roles that I love. So I love Gillian Anderson in Sex Education. Love that. And yes, I would love to play that.
And
But
why?
and
Why do you
why?
love her?
I I really identify with her in that role for one. She's really free and open and um progressive and probably too what's the word I'm looking for? I love the relationship she has with her son.
Mhm.
There are quite a lot of similarities, but I also love that she is over the top. And it's what I probably wouldn't allow myself to be quite so over the top in my real life, but the chance to be so over the top in a role, I just think would just be so much fun. And I also, she is like unapologetic in this role.
Mhm.
And I love that about her.
Mhm.
And I think I'm kind of unapologetic in my life. but it's not even, I really like her, like I like her in this role. She's someone who I'd want to go have a glass of wine with,
Yeah.
and I just think we'd have a ball,
Yeah.
right? She'd just be so much fun. So, but she's a complex woman, right? She has her backstory. She's got a very complex relationship with her son. And almost everything I write um, is always really complex relationships, mother-child, complex relationships, sister-sister, mother-daughter, complex, these are the stories that interest me. So maybe that's really the kernel of it, is this complex relationship. But then on the other spectrum of that is Rosa Pike. What's it? Rosamund
Rosamund
Pike.
Pike.
Rosamund Pike in I Care a Lot, which is totally the other side. But I would also love to play that role. I just there's and I know also that these are my two type of roles that I would be cast in anyway. So it's lucky that I like them, I guess. But but then did you see Landscapers? Did
The
you see
Juicy
that on
Landscapers?
it was called Landscapers,
I haven't
on
seen it.
HBO. Oh God. And I'm so bad at names. I'm going to forget her name. She's an amazing actress, an English actress. She played in The Favorite. Did you
Mhm.
see? She played the queen in The Favorite.
Oh, Olivia Colman, my goodness.
Yes.
Oh,
Thank you.
I
Oh
adore
God.
her. Yeah.
Oh my God. She is amazing. I mean, amazing. And yet in some ways, I don't know. I don't, the landscaper, she plays this woman who's just truly obsessed with her husband to the point, sorry, spoilers here, but she's truly obsessed with her husband to the, and yet she's so very meek and, and strong. She's both. Right? So they end up killing her, I think it's her parents, and burying them in a yard, and then they escape to Paris. And this is based on a true story. And they did everything, and then they end up turning themselves in. But the role is she is so meek and tenacious at the same time.
What do you mean by this? I don't know the words.
Tenacious is like when she's just like, this is what we are going to do, and I'm going to hang on here, and we're going to do this, and this is how it's going to be done. She's just
Kind of a
very,
stubbornness?
yeah, it's more than stubborn. It's like, I'll die for this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Obsessed?
Yeah, it's maybe where stubborn and obsession
Mhm.
cross, maybe, I don't know.
Mhm.
Tenacious. It's like, like a dog with a bone. He's
Yeah.
not going to let go of that bone. He's tenacious, right? Somebody who's very ambitious.
Okay.
I'm going to get what I want no matter what. They're tenacious about it. And yet I don't know if I would want to play that role. It's not a role that necessarily appeals to me. And I'm not sure. I'm trying to think why, because I thought she was amazing. I mean, truly amazing. And I love her.
Yeah.
I mean, she's fantastic in everything. I could see myself playing like the stepmother in Fleabag,
Yeah.
which is she did,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I could easily see myself doing something like that.
Yeah.
And the favorite I thought was again just a stunning performance.
And it is something you adore as a viewer, or also something I meant to play that.
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say I so admire her skill. I mean, she's just such a skilled actress.
Mhm.
And I really admire that, obviously. And those two roles, if I had to choose one, landscapers would definitely be like, I'm not so sure. I mean, that would take like really, really, really a lot of work maybe it's about identifying.
Mhm.
I'm not sure because we have to find that within ourselves. I always say we are faceted diamonds, right?
Mhm.
And whichever facet we sort of polish and hold up to the light, that's the one that we're showing when we're acting. but they're all in there. They're all part of us. You
Yeah.
can't show something that you don't have, right? You have to have a way into it. You
Yeah.
have to have a way to empathize with it. You have to have a way to identify with it.
Yeah, and to have the distance to put it yeah, on a tablet, to mold it and mm, to
Like put
not
it on a like a clay, like a
no, not the clay on a tablet or
like
on
a
a
pedestal. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. To have this is something I always adored. Um, the actor Alan Rickman. He
He was
always
amazing.
had
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
slight distance to his characters. To He was an artist. He was not
Yeah.
losing his mind. He was like the person who was sitting on the horse.
Yeah. He was
He
always
was
in
guiding
control.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
not, he's not a control freak. He was full body,
Yeah.
but he was pure artist who knew what he wanted to create.
Yeah.
I had the feeling he didn't plan the result, but he really was connected to something he wanted to create. Like
Yeah.
Rodin. I'm always
Yeah.
so impressed by this image that there's this huge stone and he saw,
What's inside. Yeah.
yeah, and he
Yeah.
only put away to
To
make
reveal
people
it. Yes.
so
Yeah.
this is what I have, what I
But
think.
again, if you are doing that as an actor, right, then you have to acknowledge that whatever that person is, that essence of that person is part of it.
Yeah,
So I just have to
otherwise you can't
find a
see it.
way, right. I
Yeah,
just have to find a way to make room for it. And I think the older I get, the more I can empathize with a lot of people that I never could have empathized with in a way that I could identify with them.
mhm,
Whereas now I can. I mean, I could always empathize with people,
yeah,
but I couldn't always identify.
yeah,
And I think it was probably a much more superficial thing, looking at, not sure I get that,
yeah,
and whereas, you live a while and you realize we don't see everything.
yeah,
There's so much that we don't see,
yeah,
it's interesting. Yeah. So I guess back to your question is, um, I think I'd love to play the queen in The Favorite, but less so the wife in The Landscaper. And I think it does go down to just who intrigues me more
yeah,
as an actress,
yeah,
as a watcher,
yeah,
as an audience member. She can almost do no wrong,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Although I wasn't crazy about The Lost Daughter. Did
yeah,
you see that?
no, I haven't, but it's
No.
on top of the list.
Ah.
But back to the question. So you had Rosamund Pike and Olivia Colman, and the
Uh,
third one was
and Gillian Anderson
Gillian Anderson.
in
Okay,
Sex Education.
yeah. And have you seen The Fall?
Mm. I have seen The Fall, but years and years ago.
Okay,
Years ago.
okay,
But yes, that's right. She plays the cop. She
yeah,
plays the sexy cop in The
yeah,
Fall, right?
exactly.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
right. Yes. Yes, I loved
and
her in that as well.
if this would be your answer in written form, during reading it, I would have mm, re- recognized that everything you said is maybe possible to say about another actress, about the depths and the layers and so on. But your eyes you had this sparkle in your eyes, and I would have felt it in your writing too. That there's something behind behind the sentences that really makes you happy. And
Mm.
if I would have read it or listening to you, is I have the feeling that I would love to find something for you, a seed, a sample, a person who either mm, it was the sentence about sex education. Gillian Anderson she's not polite, and you said I'm a rather polite person. Did I get it right?
No, I said she's unapologetic.
Apologetic. That's yeah, yeah,
Unapologetic.
unapologetic. And you are more the person.
No, I am unapologetic.
You are.
Yes.
Ah,
I don't
okay.
give a shit. People, you know
Ah.
what? Think what you want of me. I mean, of course I care. But I don't care enough to do anything, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So
Of course
okay,
I
okay.
care. I do
Yeah.
care.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
but I'm not going to change, and I'm not going to not do what I want to do. I'm going to do what I want to do.
Okay, so I didn't get it right. But anyway, this point where my ears grew, I was like, oh my god,
Mm,
there's something. And talking about Gillian Anderson and talking about Rosamund Pike, they're two completely different archetypes
yes.
or essences.
Although, are they? I mean, I would say they're both sort of okay. I'm not as familiar with archetypes as you are. How would you describe them?
My feeling is that Gillian Anderson is is more the queen
Mm,
or the leader,
hmm
while Rosamund Pike is rather the virgin or the nun.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you see her in Gone Girl?
Yes. Yes. And
And
that's
you still think that she's
yes.
the
Yes.
wow,
Yes.
okay.
Because there's there's a relationship between the nun and the whore,
Mm.
and
Yes. Okay.
obviously,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
there. This is what I love about archetypes. It's not limiting yourself. There's a
yeah,
range around.
yeah.
And imagine Gillian Anderson would have played Gone Girl, completely different story. It has to
Yes.
be the strength of the nun or the virgin to make it. Wow, I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah.
So it's a monstrous because you would never expect a person looking like Rosamund Pike, so
Angelic.
lovely and
Yes.
decent and
Yeah.
like the nun, to do that.
Mm.
This is the horror.
Yeah.
Gillian Anderson, well, possible, but not so
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
interesting. Very
and this is what
interesting.
I love about
Yeah.
the idea. What would and I heard there's something you like about to not apologize yourself for saying something, not giving a shit. And I immediately, if I would do a sample, I would right now know which scene we would do, which
Which
character.
one? Which one? Which
I'm
one?
telling you at the end, okay? Because there's another question. It's only the
Okay.
first question. But as you can see, I'm not listening to your lines. I'm
Watching.
searching the energy.
Yes. Yes.
I'm like a mm,
You're
like a
like a water
seismograph.
diviner. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's like
Divining the
yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. It's like oh,
Yeah.
there's something. There's something. Her eyes are sparkling. So oh yeah, there must be something. So
Yeah.
this is how I. So to be honest, these questions are they are stupid. This is only
No.
no. I'm making jokes. They're kind of a trick. You're answering the questions, but in fact, I'm looking for a completely different answer
You're
than you
looking
are
for the
giving me.
subtext.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
distracting you. And
Yeah.
then I find so this is the essence of the question. So my second question to you would be what series or what movie do you like? But you already answered it in
Mm.
combination
Mm.
with the actors. So I'm separating you, but it doesn't matter. So the third
But you
question.
know what else? I love also heightened reality. Like in A Fish Called Wanda
Mhm.
or Galaxy Quest, where things are real and yet they're just a little bit heightened.
Yeah.
I also love those kind of things.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
fun.
because
Yeah.
being in a genre where everything is strange because it's sci-fi, it's in the
Mm.
future, you can learn something about yourself, but in a mirror because it's not your world, but it's I love sci-fi because it's I guess the most philosophical genre you can have because it's yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so the third question, the how did it start? In fact,
How with acting. Oh, I can tell you the exact moment that it started, as I think we probably all can, right? We all have
Yeah.
that one moment.
Yeah.
I was at summer camp and I was about 10, and the summer camp was putting on Oliver Twist. And so they told all the campers to go and, show up at the cafeteria, and then we would all audition. And they didn't even call it that. They just sort of corralled us from room to room, and they were, okay, you sing, you dance, read this, and you would just go from room to room. It was like an assembly line, reading and going on and doing all these different things. And then the circles of people kept getting smaller and smaller, and I'm still in it, and still in it, and but still, it doesn't mean anything to me. I had no value for it. I hadn't placed a value on getting the role or not, or getting a lead role or not. It didn't matter to me. I
Mm.
was just having fun. And then I ended up getting Nancy, which is the only female in Oliver Twist pretty much. But it's definitely the female lead.
Mhm.
And even that with rehearsals, didn't get it, didn't get it, didn't get it. But it was on opening night as I'm up on stage by myself, singing As Long as He Needs Me. Oh my God, I'm getting emotional. You're remembering it. I mean, and looking out into the audience and seeing everybody in silhouette because, of course, the lights were coming at me. And all of a sudden, I just realized it was like we were like connected. It was like when I've described it this way before. It's like when you sort of, what I imagine that moment is when you jump out of an airplane before you fall, and you're sort of one with everything. Everything is, and then whoosh, and that's kind of how it felt, that I was just sort of so connected to everyone. And I felt oh God, it sounds terrible to say, but I felt like this, um, the power, I guess, I'm not sure, but oh, I'm doing this. They're listening to me. Ah, I mean, even now I get emotional. But you know me, I get emotional like that.
All the
But I've
time.
never done it on the podcast before.
Ah.
Damn it.
Gotcha.
Got me. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So, and I think, everybody has their different reason for wanting to be an actor. And I
Mm.
think for me, a lot of it had to do with like that kind of universal love, like feeling of being loved and accepted as you are in that moment.
Mm.
And that was a lot of it for me. It's not necessarily what drives me anymore, which is interesting,
Mm.
but it was that hit. It was almost like a hit of like a drug or something. It was like boom, and then you're always kind of chasing that connection, or at least that feeling when you know that you are in your flow. That's what it is. That flow, right? When you're just like, when you're not, you're just there,
Mm.
and you're part of it, and it's happening, and you're steering it, but it's got its own wings, and it's flying on its own.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's that feeling, I think, of always, that's the feeling I'm always chasing in every performance, in every casting, in every
Mm.
audition. I'm always looking for that that moment of when you let go and are just there doing it and
Yeah.
reacting and feeling.
Yeah. And I've got the impression that this is so much your engine that drives you that
Mm.
for me, if this would be written down or we talk about it, this is something um that pushes a button in my thinking because I
Yeah.
think wow, there's something so valuable about this. And um since I have an idea what I would suggest you to work on or to do, um, it's even yeah, this could be great because it's not it's not about your story again. It's about well, yeah, what drives you,
Mm.
and Yeah. Okay. So
Are you familiar with yes, I definitely wanna go on, but I just wanna ask you, are you familiar with, Laban? Do you know Rudolph Laban? He designed a vocabulary of dance movements.
oh, I've heard about it, but I definitely do not know
Ah,
enough.
okay.
So
You know Giles Foreman, the coach
yeah,
out of
yeah,
London? Okay.
yeah.
I did many, many workshops with him, and one of them, um, well, these were all the same, but it was continuation. It's a very sort of complex, acting method that combines Stanislavski and Laban, and it's created by this other man whose name I'm forgetting right now. Giles will never forgive me. I'm terrible at that. But one of the characters, one of the archetypes that they call it, the name that they put on this type of a person is near, right? I'm a person
Mhm,
who leans in.
mhm, mhm,
Not everybody is, right? Some
mhm.
people are back.
Yeah,
They're more reserved. But I remember that is always stuck in my head because if I want something, I'm leaning into it. Yeah.
yeah. I'm so excited what you're thinking about my suggestion.
Okay, me too.
Okay, yeah, I completely understand that. It's yeah, the energy informs us about it. The the lines of the sentence as well
Yeah.
as in the acting. Yeah. Okay, so my next question would be, is there a special conflict you want to play? I created this question because whenever I ask an actor, "What do you want to play?" In general, they're saying, "Well, I would love to play the cop in a Tatort." But it's this is not what I mean. So I
Yes.
use these words.
Yeah.
Which conflict would you want to play? Is it, for example, I want to play a character who finally finds words to fight against his dominant father.
Mm.
Or
Okay.
again, he couldn't do,
Mhm.
for example.
I mean, I know what I always write about, and that is obviously my subconscious going to, the conflicts that are within my soul, within my fingers and my heart. Um, and they always revolve around family and like nuclear family. It's not, it's not the external people in my life. And interestingly, it's not even they are the conflicts of my life, you know? They're the conflicts that I had as a child and some as a mother, but mostly the conflicts that I had, as like with family and these kind of relationships. And I think, those are the ones that always work for me when I'm doing associative memories and things like that as well. Because these are the conflicts and the memories that shape us, that make us who we are, that drive us, whether we're aware of them or not. So the conflict, I mean, if you're asking me about a conflict I'd love to resolve, it would be something with my mother, probably. Just although I'm I'm very close to my mom, and I was I was like a mama's girl growing up, really a mama's girl, and my mother left when I was 16, and she left me with a man she had just married a year before, so I barely knew him. Luckily, he was a very good man, so nothing bad about that. But that I think began the real kind of like breakdown of like not understanding the world, like what's going on here, you know? Yeah, sort of like these. Mm, you know what it is? I think it's like the first betrayals. You're
Mhm.
gonna make me cry again.
I'm so sorry, but I love working with you, Anne. Yeah, but we can see and you can feel that
Yeah.
you are so deeply informed your whole. I'm getting goosebumps too. So you're so informed about this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a shortcut.
Yeah.
If we would shoot this, and I think we should do it.
We should. We
Yeah,
should.
we
Let's
should.
do it.
Nobody is so specifically informed about all this like you are, and
Yeah.
that's how it's becoming unique. And you will love this work beside any result.
Yeah.
And this strengthens you because this is what we were talking about too. Just to encourage actors and to stay strong or to get strong, not to work with your rules. This is not if we would do it and you're so brave enough to say, okay, let's do it publicly, the question. This is something nobody would ever know because this is
Yeah.
so personal.
Private. Yeah.
Well, yeah, well, kind of. I think it's not too private, otherwise you wouldn't have
Right.
shared.
I wouldn't have said.
But
Yeah.
it's super personal, and this is a secret between me and the actor, and nobody will ever realize it by watching the sample because
Mm.
we're changing it. I
Yeah.
love doing this with every sentence you're saying. I know what this is the character that should play. This is, and nobody would ever see this or knowing about something or the relationship with you and your mother. And
Yeah.
nobody
Yeah.
would ever know. It's completely. It's invisible,
Mm.
but it will drive.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, obviously my emotions are very close to my skin anyway.
Mm.
I mean, uh, but there are things that trigger me much more so. Like, whenever I play a mother, I'm always playing like a mom who's, crying about something because obviously something that I can do fairly easily. But, but, uh, yeah, I think, no, I don't actually have anything to say about that. Yeah, I think it's
Mm.
it's interesting. I mean, obviously as actors, as grown women, as writers, you know, we're very self-aware, or at least we try to be,
Mm.
right? So yeah. And we spend a lot of time thinking about why. Not only
Yeah,
why would someone do that, but why did I do that?
yeah,
Or what is this? What does this mean? Where did this come from? Why did I react like that? Why did he react like that? Trying to pull back and look at someone more empathetically
yeah,
as well, even in our real lives. I think we do it more
yeah,
than a lot of people do.
yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's just break this for one sec. Like, take out your headphones and unplug them for one sec. I want to hear if that's any better. There's sort of like a rausch.
Mm.
Do you hear that?
Is it better? I think it's my
No.
computer. It's the ventilator
Ah,
because it's
okay.
getting so
Okay.
hot.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
an old mill.
Okay. Okay. Well, I have a guy who's going to do the sound, so hopefully he'll
Yeah.
be able to
Okay. I'm
get rid
so
of some of
sorry.
that.
It's
That's
yeah.
okay. That's okay.
Okay.
That's okay. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't the
Mm.
headphones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get back to it.
Okay. So, are you ready for the last question?
Yes.
But
Yes.
it's a simple question, no worries. It's the question. What are you usually cast for?
Mm. It seems I get cast. There are two sort of types that I get cast as. One is this mother uh, who is generally kind of a complex mother with a complex relationship with her child, but a very, very like a lion mama. Like, woof, my child, I die for my child. Like that kind of a thing. Which I mean, that is totally. I would die for Mark in a second if I had to. Not happily, but I would still do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Sorry, is this something you get cast in Germany or in America?
it's well. I have an audition actually this week for a mother who's very conflicted with her daughter, but it's not because she's pulling back, it's because the daughter's pulling back.
Mhm.
So we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to get it or not, but I have an audition for it.
For America.
No, for here.
For actor. Okay, okay.
For here. But I also have an audition this week for a diplomat. And
Mm.
this is the other type of roles that I get, like the sort of. But what the other thing that's very interesting now, this is a German production.
Mhm.
I used to only get cast, and again because we get cast off our show reels. I used to only get cast as like this really cold boss bitch, just
Mm.
and really sort of like I don't know if you ever saw my performance in Tatort, but I
No, I
mean
haven't.
I am the character I play is she's so still and calculated, and which is, I mean, if you see me for 5 seconds, that's not who I am, right?
Yeah.
I'm very animated and, laughing and
Yeah.
da, 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 right? So it was, and so I was surprised that this character, she's a diplomat, but she's warm.
Mhm.
So that I was surprised and relieved kind of, to say, oh, okay. So it's not now it's working the work that I've been doing on my branding
Yeah.
to not only get cast as this kind of one-dimensional person,
Yeah.
which is how I was getting cast a lot,
Mhm.
just this very sort of
The
cold,
leader.
hard. Yeah. But you can be a leader. I don't know if the leader is the right word because you can be a leader and you can be the boss, but you're not necessarily the leader.
Yeah, and then it comes to something I'm working with. Are you fulfilled or not?
Am
Because
I personally
no, no,
or
no. This is the question I'm continuing with. You can be a leader, but you can also be an unfulfilled leader. You
oh,
can be in the position, but not owning it. So you're kind of having I'm
a
always using.
reluctant leader?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So this is
Like
something
our
about the
reluctant
power.
heroes.
Yeah. So, and this
Yeah.
is where I love the archetypes because it's not, well, I'm a leader, so I'm super confident. I'm, no, it can be the opposite too. I
Yeah.
am the leader, but I'm not owning it.
Yeah.
So this is also something I really like.
Yeah. Yeah. So interesting because, this is, I guess it's basically semantics. You say archetype, I
Mm,
say essence.
mm.
Although archetype may be a better way to describe it because at least it conjures up immediately a picture in your head.
Well, it's just a vocabulary to talk about something, and
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how we call it. It's just I need to have a language to explain why this is my feeling and this is my
Yes.
thinking.
And
That's
also what people are like you could say, okay, as you were saying before with the queen, right? So
mm,
either she could be a queen who is leading.
mm,
She could also be a queen who wants to lead and isn't leading.
yeah,
She could also be a queen who's fallen and
yeah,
is in the tower,
yeah,
and completely broken or not.
yeah,
I mean, there are so many things, but it's that essence. It's that that essence of the queen.
yeah.
And then you have to combine it with the circumstances
Exactly, exactly.
and then the other essences that come into play,
Yeah,
right?
and that's why I love it. I don't know if you have seen it. I uploaded a scene because I wanted to enter it more in the international market, so I did an English scene. And I played a character. She is a mother, but the archetype is the queen because this is what I want to do. But it's a
Yes.
broken queen, so
Yeah.
she's drunk
Uh,
and she behaves like a queen who wants to have seen as a queen, and she uses her daughter for it, and she
mm,
really tortures her in this way. She's a narcissistic, not a narcissist,
yeah.
and I love doing it because it has nothing to do with me. I'm just fooled by narcissists. That's why I wanted to do it. My sister was
Aren't we all?
narcissistically
I think that's
informed.
why we become actors.
And I love doing it because it's not the archetype of a mother. It's not my archetype. It's simply not. but queen works excellent.
I
But
mean,
in
I
the
could
character,
totally see you play a mother. I mean,
well,
you
yeah, because I did it in the past. I always played mothers and these helpers, doctors,
but
nurses, and
it's
so
not
on.
just because you did it, it's because you had and again, it's because you have this warm, caring
Mm.
energy about you.
Yeah,
Your essence, right, is warm and caring and helpful,
yeah,
and these are things that we associate with a good mom.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But since I didn't want to play it any longer because it bored me to hell, because in this, well, let's say it in this um from showreel cast productions, quite stereotype. It was always boring because you, as a woman, you always have to be nice, and this is so boring. So I said, well, I don't want to play these archetypes any longer, and I erased from my showreel, and I said,
Mm,
okay, I want to play the leader, the queen, and the virgin. I want
yeah,
to do it because I want to do it. I
yeah,
can't play the nurse. I can't play the
yes.
helper. Yeah, but I don't want to.
No,
Not any
I
longer.
understand that, and you
Mm,
can also play the queen and the virgin,
mm,
and, I mean, I can immediately see that, and the nun. I mean, I
yeah,
could, immediately see all of those things.
yeah,
So, I 100% agree with you, you know this, that, this is
yeah,
why we're having this conversation.
yeah.
I think we have to educate people how we wanna be seen, how we want to be
Yes,
cast.
yes. And this is so a relief to be actor so that you
Yes,
can do
that you
something.
have control.
Yes.
You are not at their mercy.
No.
There are things that you can do,
Yes.
you
Yes.
know?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And you should do, otherwise you're simply helpless.
yeah,
And it's not
absolutely.
necessary. This is rough enough. So
Yeah.
why giving away your your
Power about
artistic
everything.
power? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and letting everyone determine everything,
Mm.
No. This is something where I say, "No." "No,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna follow the rules. I'm not
Yeah.
going to.
Yeah.
I'm not going to not call or not insist or not knock again.
Yeah.
I'm going to, because
Yeah.
if I don't, well, I'll be sitting in the corner and you will have forgotten about me,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
moved on to someone else." And it's, there's a phrase in English, it's the squeaky wheel gets the oil. Have you ever heard that
Yeah.
phrase?
No, no, I haven't heard it, but I understand it.
I think you need to be gracefully assertive or assertive with charm. Whatever your strong point is, find your way to be assertive. And if you're a funny person, then use humor.
Yeah.
If you're a charming person, use your charm. If you're a vulnerable person, use your vulnerability. Use whatever it is, but don't not be assertive. You
Yeah.
must stand up and tell people what you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
How are you
And
supposed to get it?
it's super
Yeah.
attractive to know what you want. And this is
Mm.
something I really love about getting older, because I really know what I and what
Yeah.
I don't.
Yes.
And this is not a master plan for the next 100 years. It's only, let's say, for the 5 years. The next 5 years, I want to play this, and this. And now I'm doing everything I can to make it happen.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm saying, well, I don't know how old I am. That's I want to play the
Something
spy
else.
or
Yeah.
the warrior. What do I know? So okay, I have to
Absolutely.
change it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and this is what I love about the samples, because it's so easy. It's shot like a self tape. I do it in my studio. There's good lighting, good sound, and you have an actor, a reader, and he or she is also cast. So they know the lines. They're not holding a paper. They have to have a costume, and they have to be cast like if we would do the reverse shot. It has to be possible too.
Yeah.
So you have all the impulses you need to create really, really great character. And it's not about the scene. To be honest, I'm using the scenes only to have kind of a vehicle for the character.
Yeah.
And then I'm shameless. I'm
Yeah.
changing gender, ages, times,
As you
whatever else.
should. What does it
So
all mean?
yeah, yeah,
No, I love that. I really
yeah,
do love that. So what's your
yeah.
last question?
My last question is, Are there special values or things you are interested in beside the acting? Something that is, yeah, a value.
Yes, I believe in being empowered and helping other people to find their power. That's a really strong belief of mine. It really bothers me. It's hard for me to let it go when I see someone with a lot of potential that they're not trying to realize. And I know it bugs people, like my family members, for example. My sister is a really good example of this because I'm always trying to get her do something. Like, don't you want to do this? Don't you want to do that? What if you did this? I have an idea for you. I'll call her. Why if you just did this and this and this, and I'll help you and we'll lay it out. And, da, da, da. And she's like, Annie, I just want to lay on the beach. I mean, just leave me alone. Not everybody's as ambitious as you are. And I don't know. I mean, I get that it can be annoying. I do get it if you don't want to do that, and somebody's always like trying to live your potential, live your potential. It can be exhausting. I know my son probably finds it exhausting. I'm like one of those moms that's like, baby, you're a shooting star. Someone tell him who you are. That was my song for him all the time. And so yeah, and it just and even, like this morning, he is on a job search. And so we were talking about it and he's getting a little bit frustrated and he's doing a second interview for a job which is paying less than the job he had before. And he was very well paid before, but while I was talking to him, my phone was about to die, so I couldn't really go into it. But then I slept on it. I woke up. The first thing I did this morning was call him up. I was like, you know what? You're not going to accept that. You're going to go to the job. You're going to get the job. And then you're going to tell them why you can't take it at that price. And because you deserve every penny of what you were paid the last time, if not more. Yes, damn it.
Can you adopt me?
And so who knows? He's probably rolling his eyes as he wakes up to listen to that message. And it's like, yeah, thanks, Mom. Yeah, but who's going to pay my rent? It's like, we'll take care of it. We'll cover that bridge when we get to it. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But so yes, I don't know if that's a value. Does that answer that question?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's again, it's not about the sentences, it's about the energy.
Mm. These are things that drive me. I've also very recently come to my why as an actor, not as an actor, because I think my why as an actor is what I described earlier. My why I won't take no for an answer is different. And that has much more to do. I can stand up and say, I will not take no for an answer because I need to show my son that anything is possible. And that drives me more than, I could deal with him. I could just sort of have a nice life sometimes, but I think, no, I want him to know that life can be as extraordinary as you dream it to be, as you want it to be. So I have to show him that it is. And I have to show him that it's worth trying. Because I don't want him to live in a life where he has regrets. And I don't want to live a life with regrets either. So it's not all about him, but a lot of it is. Where I might say, I'm not going to reach out to this person because I'm shy or I'm, intimidated or whatever it is. What am I going to say? But then I think about my son no, I have to show him. I have to show him that because right now I've been telling him, do cold calls, just he's super charming. I mean, of course I'm his mom. I do say that, but my son is so charming. Let me tell you. God, how that just sounded. But he really is. And so, and he's young. So I think, most people, if you call up and say, or send an email and say, look, you're doing exactly what I want to do. And I so admire you. And I would love to just bring you a coffee and talk to you for 15 minutes and find out how you got to be doing what you're doing. I think most people, I would certainly be open to someone
Mm,
doing that,
mm.
and if they're not, then they're not. So what? Then move on. Somebody
Yeah, but
else is going to be.
and this is isn't it exactly what actors should do with the industry to come with a present,
Yes. Yes.
aka a coffee, to
Yeah.
say, we're giving 15 minutes. I don't
Yeah.
want any longer, just to have time to spend time with you to talk about what we obviously both love, film, movie,
Yeah.
acting, and then we're leaving us alone. We don't need
Yeah.
to stick together. Just having 15 minutes. And I have so good experiences doing this,
Yeah.
to just wanting 15 minutes
Yeah.
or writing people. I love what you
Yes.
so
Same. I mean, it's kind of like the backbone of there's no way. I mean, when I first started to get into acting here in Germany, I was 47. I didn't speak German well. All of these things sort of going against me. And if I kept listening to everyone
mm,
who was saying, forget it, then
mm,
I would never have my career.
yeah.
So you have to, you have to honor your dream.
Mm.
If you have dreamed it, you must honor that.
But then you have to have a plan. Otherwise, it's
Yes.
only dreaming.
Oh
You
my God,
need the
you just are
direction.
speaking my language. Yes, absolutely. You must have that plan and you must work your plan.
Yeah.
And you have to the plan is there, should be in place when you're not feeling strong, when you're not feeling confident, because then you know what you have to do anyway.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Do you know this proverb? You have to be disciplined because you're not always motivated.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so true.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we are coming up. We're over an hour. So I think we should probably wrap this up fairly soon. So you're not going to keep me in suspense any longer on the scene, right?
Yes, I will tell you. Well, to be honest, if you would be the actress I would work with, for example, I wouldn't give you the name of the scene because you would have immediately the image of the actress and maybe you have seen the series or
Mm.
whatsoever. So I would next step after these questions, I would analyze your show reel and your photos to see what you did, what's uh, the status quo. And
Yeah.
then I would start doing my research, watching series, watching movies, and to get more inspired. But quite often, only reading the answers, I have such a strong feeling for a direction, for a character,
Mm.
as it was in your way. And since we are talking uh, in private, I'm saying what my idea would be. To be honest, I don't have any idea how the movie or series is called, but it is because what I'm starting different. I would suggest to do a sample with a character who has aspects of a mother, but more to say the person wants, and this is the conflict question, the person who wants to feel herself for every price,
Mm.
to feel the life and to be greedy and to change your warm atmosphere and your nurturing atmosphere in something different. I would love to see you as an addict
Oh, yeah.
who really
Did you see For Leslie? Did you see the film For Leslie?
oh well
Is it To
yeah,
Leslie
but
or For
yeah,
Leslie? No,
I
no, no,
think
it's new. She was up for
oh,
the Oscar this year. It was a big controversy.
oh no no no
Yeah.
no
Oh, it's an amazing film. I've never seen this actress before. Of course, I forgot her name. Fucking amazing. I mean,
okay,
truly, like one of the best performances I've seen in a very long time.
wow.
And she plays an addict. She plays a drunk
Okay.
who loves her son, but she loves her drink more.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. Well,
And
I mean, you did read Sub Rosa, right? The script. If you didn't read it, then Agnes read it. So, anyway,
mhm.
the story in a nutshell, is about a mother who loses her favorite son.
Okay. Oh, and
And
your story. Yes, of
yeah,
course I read
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it is a mother who's showing her ugly side, who's like basically, you're not the one I want. She never says it, of
Mhm,
course,
mhm,
but this is every fiber in her being. It's like, why you? If I
mm,
had to choose one, it wouldn't have been you.
mm,
And hating herself for it. Because, right, these are the things we do. I love these characters that are so conflicted. I mean, as we all do, right?
yeah.
I mean, it's like you can't help the way you feel, and yet you can hate yourself for it because it's so despicable, to feel that way about your own child.
Yeah.
And in my story, she does come to love and appreciate him. Oh God, here I go again.
Okay, 3 times. Great.
Seriously. But yeah, I love those kind of roles.
Mm.
Yeah. And
Well, then you would love the character. Well, again, I don't know the series. I would write down the scene, change
yeah,
names, change something, so you have no chance to recognize it.
right. Yeah.
So it has to be. And now I'm saying it. It's uh maybe you know the movie. It's Andy McDowell. Have
In
you seen her performance? Well, yeah, I don't know the movie. Um, maybe we have to Google it.
what does she play? Is she the not from Sex Lies and Videotape?
No, it's her last movie,
Oh,
and it's
she plays sort of a
called
wild trailer park mom or something, right?
yeah, it's Maid. It's
Maid.
the series Maid, and she
Okay.
plays a mother who is so busy with herself and her
Yeah.
addict and her trauma and her depression and her manic phases, and her daughter is visiting her in a clinic, and she uses this moment. She's like, "Honey, you need to help me. So I can't stay here." And she behaves like a queen. She's not behaving like the mother. She's behaving like the queen, which is for me great archetype for you. But this is only my feelings. And she's behaving like a broken queen as a mother in a clinic, and she is addicted to life.
Oh
She
wow.
wants to be vivid and vital, and she needs so much.
Oh, I
It's
have
so
to see
great.
this. I
No,
have
you
not,
don't.
well, yeah, okay, then I don't. I won't see it. I won't see it. I'll come to Berlin and we'll shoot
Yes.
it.
No.
Sophia, Teresa, I always want to call you Sophia because my sister's name is Sophia.
Well,
Um,
anyway.
this has been such a pleasure, truly.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I
Is there,
loved it so much.
me too. So how can people get a hold of you?
Well, I've got a website. It's www.wavesample.de, and I'm posting on Instagram um, tiny bits from the sample because
Mhm.
again, 30 seconds
Under,
are absolutely enough.
yeah, under your own Instagram?
No,
Or
it's also Wave
Wild
Sample.
Sample. Okay.
Yes.
I'll put all the links in the show notes.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Well, and I'm doing workouts regularly, monthly workouts. Um, it's always the focus on character work. So since it's not so common to work like this, I decided to do a monthly workout, and this is
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
online or are they in person?
It's online, so everybody can take part. And I sometimes I'm using tricks to avoid this trap of saying lines and acting a story. It's not about the story. So yeah, I'm always thinking, well, how can I arrange it that you're not go into this trap of
of being stuck by
Be
the lines. Yeah.
yes, and
Yeah.
fix all the
This
story.
is like the Tankstelle exercise,
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
transitions. I love that.
exactly. Yeah,
So much fun.
yeah,
So much
and the
fun.
psychophysical
Yeah.
exercises
Yeah.
from Chekhov. So
Yes.
this it's
Well,
it's
that's a
fun.
lot of what Laban is as well. Oh my God.
Mhm.
We're just going to keep talking forever. I can see it.
So okay, second appointment.
Yeah, exactly. You have to come on the podcast again.
Yes.
Really, this has been such a pleasure.